Bryggen is the iconic historic harbor district of Bergen and one of Norway's most visited UNESCO World Heritage Sites. For centuries, this wharf was the nerve center of the Hanseatic League trading empire in Northern Europe, specifically for the exchange of stockfish from Northern Europe for grain from Europe. Bergen is home to a world-class collection of museums that cover everything from fine arts to Hanseatic history to science and maritime heritage. Most major institutions are clustered in the city center or a short bus ride away. The Bergen city center, known as Centrum, is exceptionally compact and easy to explore on foot. It is centered around the Bryggen harbor and the main square Torgallmenningen, which serves as the city's primary meeting place and shopping hub. In this vlog, I will be visiting Bryggen, the fish market, the city center, and the museums. Bergen's history spans nearly a millennium, evolving from a royal Viking settlement into a global maritime powerhouse. Its story is defined by three major pillars: its status as Norway's former capital, its long-standing relationship with the Hanseatic League, and its resilience against devastating fires. King Olaf Kyrie officially founded the city in 1070, though trading had likely occurred there since the early 1000s. Bergen served as the capital of Norway from 1217 to 1299. During this period, the Bergen fortress was constructed and the city became the political and religious center of a powerful Norwegian empire. Until the 1830s, Bergen was the largest city in Norway, far surpassing Oslo in both population and commercial importance. In 1360, the Hanseatic League, a powerful German merchant guild, established one of its four main overseas offices at Bryggen. They held a near-total monopoly on export of stockfish from northern Norway to the rest of Europe. Roughly 1,000 German merchants lived in the Bryggen district, maintaining their own law, language, and social structures distinct from the local Norwegian population. It was a city within a city. Their dominance slowly faded as Norwegian merchants gained strength. The German office finally closed in the 1750s. Because Bergen was built primarily of wood, it has been ravaged by numerous great fires throughout its history. The most devastating fire occurred in 1702, which reduced 90% of the city to ashes. A massive fire in 1916 destroyed the heart of the city center, leading to a major urban redesign with wide streets and stone buildings seen today. During World War II, a Dutch cargo ship loaded with explosives blew up in the harbor, causing significant damage to the structures like Haken's Hall. In 1979, Bryggen was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and in 2000, Bergen was named a European Capital of Culture. Bergen is Norway's second largest city and is widely celebrated as the gateway to the fjords. Located on the country's southwestern coast, this UNESCO World Heritage City is famous for its vibrant wooden waterfront, dramatic mountain backdrop, and rich Hanseatic history. Key highlights and attractions include Bryggen Hanseatic Wharf, the Seven Mountains, 4 tours, and its rainy charm. The Bryggen Hanseatic Wharf is a series of colorful, iconic wooden commercial buildings on the eastern side of Bergen Harbor, recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Bergen is surrounded by 7 peaks. You can take the Flobanen funicular to the top of Mount Floyan for panoramic views, or the Erliken 643 cable car to Mount Erliken, the highest of the 7. As the capital of Fjord Norway, it serves as the primary starting point for cruises to the Sonafjord and the Hardangerfjord. It is known as one of Europe's wettest cities, with rain occurring roughly 265 days a year. Locals often say that there is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. Among the museums to visit in Bergen are the Bryggen's Museum, Hanseatic Museum, Gamle Bergen Museum, or Bymuseet 1 Bergen, Bergen Maritime Museum, and Norway Fisheries Museum. The Bryggen's Museum was built over architectural remains, showcases findings from excavated remains of historic wharfs. Hanseatic Museum, the main building, Garden, is closed for renovations until 2027. However, you can still visit the assembly rooms and take the highly recommended guided tours of the area. The Bymuseet 1 Bergen is an open-air museum featuring over 55 reconstructed wooden houses from the 18th and 19th centuries. Bergen Maritime Museum is located near the University Museum, illustrates Norway's long relationship with the sea. Norway's Fisheries Museum is located in an original sea house. The museum offers interactive exhibits on the country's fishing traditions. Historic attractions to visit in Bergen include Bryggen, the Bergen Fortress, and St. Mary's Church. Bryggen is a UNESCO World Heritage Site featuring 62 remaining wooden buildings that served as a commercial hub for the German merchants between the 14th and 18th century. The Bergen Fortress is one of Norway's oldest and best preserved stone fortifications. Inside the fortress is the Rosenkrantz Tower, a 16th century tower that incorporates a 1270s medieval keep. St. Mary's Church is the oldest original freestanding building in Bergen, dating back to the 1130s, known for its Romanesque architecture and association with the Hanseatic merchants. Top shopping streets and districts include Bryggen, Torgallmenningen, Strandgaten, and Skåstredet. Strandgaten is a long varied street offering everything from exclusive designer wear to local boutiques. Skåstredet is a trendy area known for its independent niche shops, such as the Boksalongen bookshop at the Literature House. Shopping in Bergen is a mix of high-end Scandinavian design, traditional Norwegian crafts, and conventional modern malls. The city center is compact, making it ideal for a shopping spree on foot. Shopping malls to visit in Centrum include Bond Center Bergen, Galleria, and Exhibition Shopping Center. Bond Center Bergen is the largest in the city center. Galleria is a popular mall on Torgallmenningen, while Exhibition Shopping Center is a modern mall in the former post office building. Bergen's culinary scene is a blend of century-old seafood tradition and modern Nordic innovation. Traditional Norwegian favorites include A.S. Brygges Stuen Pingviggen and Bryggen Traktorsted. The most popular seafood dining restaurants include Fellsky Seafood Restaurant, Fish Meat Fish Market, and Cornelius Small Match Restaurant. Must-tried seafood specialties include Bergen fish soup, perske torts, pluckfish, and stockfish. Iconic street food and snacks to try include reindeer sausage, skilling spoli or Bergen cinnamon bun, and brown cheese. Getting around Bergen is straightforward thanks to a unified system managed by SkyS, which covers buses, the light rail, and local ferries. Bergen uses a zone system, but almost all tourist destinations, including the airport, fall within Zone A. Download the SkyS app to buy tickets. If you are planning on doing a lot of sightseeing, the Bergen Card offers a major advantage. It includes unlimited free travel on all SkyS buses and light rail within Zone A. You can purchase it on the Tourist Information Center. You can purchase it at the Tourist Information Center or online. The colorful Norwegian city of Bergen is a gateway to majestic fjords. Bryggen Hanseatic Wharf will give you a sense of the local culture. Take some time to snap photos of the Hanseatic commercial buildings, which look like scenery from a movie set. Don't breathe too deeply when you visit the outdoor fish market though. It's a reminder of the city's role in early fish trade. Plan your trip to Bergen using TripAdvisor. Buy the Bergen Card and get free entry or discounted admission to museums and attractions, events, or sightseeing tours. You get great discounts on restaurants and parking and can travel for free on buses in Bergen and get the region. Get your digital 24, 48, 72, or 96-hour Bergen Card online. We start the day in Bergen at the Norway Fisheries Museum. Use bus numbers 3, 4, 12, 6E, or 19 from the city center to the Sandsvik Storket stop. The Norway Fisheries Museum is located in the Sandskogen district of Bergen, housed within an authentic 18th century seaside warehouse. Known for its interactive and family-friendly approach, the museum explores Norway's extensive maritime history from ancient fishing techniques to modern aquaculture. Delve into exhibitions on fishing and fishery traditions along the coast and waters of Norway and learn more about how Norway's long coastline and beautiful sea have provided Norwegians with a living through the ages. The buildings were once historic warehouses and are architectural monuments built on wooden foundations in the sea with reconstructed canals reminiscent of the Venice of the North. Key themes typically include cod fisheries and the rise of Norway's export economy, coastal communities and daily life along the fjords, boats, gear, and maritime technology from traditional to modern, interactive games and simulations such as piloting a boat or managing a fishery. The setting and old fish warehouses add a strong atmospheric layer. You're walking through the architecture of the industry itself. Inside the museum, you'll see hand-on exhibitions, digital installations, and historical artifacts to tell the story of Norway's fishing economy, one of Norway's most defining industries. Exciting exhibitions for adults and children alike. You can explore rooms upon rooms of physical and digital exhibitions at the Norwegian Fisheries Museum. The museum imparts important knowledge about Norway's fishery history, old building techniques, aquaculture, herring processing, seal hunting, and fish stock trade. You can also see some of the best preserved wall paintings that used to adorn the interiors of the warehouses, and learn about the history of these beautiful works of art. The Wharfside Warehouse that houses the Norwegian Fisheries Museum are built on wooden foundations in the sea. The original canal built between the warehouses have been reconstructed to provide a glimpse of what the Venice of the North once looked like. Simply immerse yourself in the history of the fisheries in authentic surroundings. Try your hand as a seafood producer. You can learn about the production of seafood in the virtual gaming room. In Vin City, you produce salmon and other seafood from raw to the finished product. The game has been developed for children, but is fun for adults too. Each gaming station deals with a link in the seafood production, from hatching to the finished product. Visit the museum on a weekday or make it an outing for the weekend. The Norway Fisheries Museum has activities for children and adults of all ages in all kinds of weather. The museum is beautifully located by the edge of the fjord, surrounded by Norway's biggest vintage boat harbor. The museum is open in the summer, May to September, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and in the winter, October through April, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Admission for adults are 160 NOK, and admission for children under 18 is free. Entry is also free for Bergen Card holders. The Norway Fisheries Museum is a local history and maritime culture museum dedicated to Norway's fishing tradition, technologies, and coastal communities. It sits in a cluster of restored 18th and 19th century wharf buildings in the Sandskogen district of Bryggen, giving it an authentic harborfront setting. Visit some of Norway's newest and best exhibitions about life along the coast and the sea. Located on the seafront in Sandskogen, just a short walk from Bryggen in Bergen. Bryggen is the iconic Hanseatic Wharf in Bergen, and UNESCO World Heritage Site consisting of a series of colorful wooden commercial buildings lining the eastern side of the Bergen harbor. Founded around 1070, it served as a critical trading hub for the Hanseatic League for over 400 years, primarily dealing in stockfish from Northern Europe and cereal from Europe. The very first building in Bergen were situated at Bryggen, which has been a vibrant and important area of the city for many centuries. In 1360, the German Hanseatic League set up one of its important and export offices in Bryggen, dominating trade for almost 400 years. To stroll through the narrow alleyways and overhanging galleries is to step back into the mist of time and a bygone era. Bryggen has been ravaged by many fires, including the Great Fire of 1702. It reduced the whole city to ashes. The area was rebuilt on the foundations that had been there since the 12th century, which means that Bryggen is basically unchanged despite the passing centuries. Bergen was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1979 as one of the best preserved examples of medieval urban structure in Northern Europe. Though ravaged by multiple fires, most notably the Great Fire of 1702, the area was reportedly rebuilt on original foundation, preserving the traditional timber log construction and narrow passages. Today, the district is far from a stagnant monument. It houses approximately 62 historic buildings that now feature modern artisan shops, galleries, and restaurants. Bryggen is now part of Norway's common heritage and now has a place on Unesco's World Heritage List, and the city of Bergen is designated as a World Heritage City. The World Heritage Site consists of the old Hanseatic wharf and buildings and one of the best known urban areas from the Middle Ages in all of Norway. Top things to do in Bryggen include exploring the alleys, visiting the museums, taking photography of the panoramic views, and visiting the nearby attractions such as the fish market and Bergen Fortress. Wander through the narrow, dark passages between the slanted wooden houses to find hidden craft workshops and local potters. Visit the museums, including the Bryggen's Museum, the German merchants at Slot Schutenen. You get an insight into how the Hanseatic merchants lived, worked, and made their mark on Bergen over the course of 400 years. A visit to the Hakens Hall and Rosenkrantz Tower at the end of Bryggen by Bergen Fortress is also worth a visit. Just behind Bryggen is the 12th century St. Mary's Church. For the best panoramic views, cross to the other side of the bay near the ferry terminal during the morning golden hour. Start your journey through Bergen's colorful history at the Bergen Fortress and walk your way through the city's historic streets with your guide. Learn about how people lived in this important fishing port over the centuries and how Bergen's modern community has changed and how the architecture has changed too. See Bergen's famous wooden houses, the Bryggen Wharf, and the fish market. Learn about the city's heritage and famous residents as you wander the picturesque streets. Use my link to join this guided tour in Bergen through Viator. The Bergen Fortress is one of Norway's oldest and best preserved fortifications, located at the entrance to Bergen's harbor. Dating back to the 1240s, it has served as a royal residence and military power center for centuries. Key highlights of Bergen Fortress include Haken's Hall, Rosenkreuz Tower, the Bergenhaus Fortress Museum, and Kristkirketoten. Haken's Hall is a massive 13th century stone hall built by King Haakon for royal banquets and ceremonies. It remains Norway's largest medieval secular building. Rosenkreuz Tower is a combined residence and defensive tower from the 1560s and offers panoramic views of the city and harbor. The Fortress Museum is located in the Kongen area. This free museum features exhibitions on the fortress's history and Norwegian resistance during the Second World War. The Kirketomen is the site of the former Christ Church and serves as the burial site for several Norwegian kings. What is the Bergen Fortress? The Bergen Fortress stands at the mouth of the Bergen's harbor and is among the oldest stone fortifications in Norway, with structures dating back to the 1240s. In medieval times, the area was called Holmen and served as Norway's royal seat when Bergen was the capital until 1299. It contained a royal residence, cathedral, churches, and a monastic building. Today, it remains partly an active military site, but is largely open to the public as a historic and cultural complex. It is encouraged to go for a walk through the Bergen Fortress. Some key highlights of the Bergen Fortress include the main gate, the parade ground, the fortress courtyard, the Rosenkreuz Tower. The main gate is the best place to start a walkthrough. If you're coming with a cruise ship, you will notice that there is a gate on the other side of the fortress, number 31. It could be a couple minutes walk to cross through the gate to the main gate. It's a much quicker walk than taking the main road. Today, the parade ground is an open courtyard. During the summer months, they sometimes have set up stages for kid performances. If there is a festival, such as the beer festival taking place here, they use the ground for stalls. Today, it is the main passageway for the Bergen Fortress. The fortress courtyard has its design from the 18th century. Likely during Haakon's time, wooden buildings were still standing there. Recent excavations have found traces from old wooden buildings. The previous Apostle Church likely stood as royal chapels. Bergenhaus is a microcosm of Norwegian history, from royal power as the medieval capital, to military strategy, harbor defense, artillery upgrades, and World War II occupation, to religious importance, the site of the medieval Christ Church, coronations, and royal burials, to modern cultural identity, where it hosts concerts, public events, and preserved architectures. It is one of the few places in Norway where 800 years of political, military, and architectural history remain visible within a walkable area. The Rosenkreuz Tower was built in the 1560s by the governor of Bergen Castle, Erik Rosenkreuz, and served as a combined residence and fortified tower. The Rosenkreuz Tower is considered one of the most important Renaissance monuments in Norway. Part of the tower are from the 1270s, but it has been extended on several occasions for the purpose of fortification and as a demonstration of power. If you climb up the narrow and dark flights of stairs, you can climb right up onto the roof, which provides impressive views of the Bergen harbor. The tower was the residence of King Erik Magnusson, who was the last king to hold court in Bergen until he passed away in 1299. Later, the tower housed less fortunate residents, as the cellar contains the notorious dungeon, which was used well into the 19th century. The Hanseatic merchants are long gone and no longer part of the hustle and bustle of Bryggen, but you can still experience this unique place, which has contributed so much into making Bergen the city it is today. Hanseatic merchants from northern Germany sailed into Bergen in the 13th century to exchange grain for stockfish from northern Norway. Their trading activities made Bryggen and Bergen one of Northern Europe's most important trading hubs for centuries. Today, the Hanseatic Museum and Sjöstuen belong to the World Heritage Site Bryggen, inscribed on Unesco's World Heritage List in 1979. The museum illustrates how the Hanseatic merchants lived, worked, and made their mark on Bergen over the course of 400 years. If you wander through Bryggen and explore the beautiful Sjöstuen today, you will get a sense of what Bergen was like during the Hanseatic era. Walking through the narrow alleyways is like traveling back in time. If you listen carefully, maybe you'll hear young men speaking Low German, rolling barrows, and creaking cart wheels carrying stockfish. Experience Sjöstuen, the assembly room, the last Hanseatic assembly rooms in the world. The beautiful assembly rooms are unique in a global context and a reminder of a bygone era. The Hanseatic merchants met in these premises to share meals and hold meetings and important discussions. You can visit the new exhibitions, impressive buildings, and admire the up to 300-year-old paintings of vines. Sound installations and smell boxes take you back to the Bergen of the Middle Ages and give you a sense of the atmosphere of the Hanseatic League. The historic surroundings provide an insight into the everyday life of merchants at Sjöstuen, their impressive trading network, and the history of the buildings themselves. You will find Bergen's perhaps best kept secret under a glass floor, a medieval ruin dating back around 1280, which was discovered when the museum was founded 148 years ago. The Sjöstuen Assembly Room are situated right beside the Hanseatic Merchants' main church, St. Mary's Church, which is set in a charming garden. The museum has a universal design. Located right behind the historic Bryggen Wharf, the assembly rooms were the communal meeting and dining halls for the Hanseatic merchants. These were the only buildings in the Hanseatic quarters where open fires and heat were permitted due to the extreme fire risk in the wooden warehouses. The site consists of 3 reconstructed assembly rooms and a medieval kitchen house. It currently hosts exhibition Bevære meg Vel, which provides insights on the ongoing technical restoration of Finngarden. Exhibitions at the H10 Museum and the guided tours enable you to explore all aspects of the Hanseatic merchants' lives, from their unique trading network to everyday life at Bryggen. Today, Bryggen is Bergen's greatest cultural gem and a symbol of the Hanseatic era's cultural and economic significance. A whole block of wooden buildings dating back to the Hanseatic era, comprising no less than 62 buildings, has been preserved. The museum is open daily from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tickets for adults are approximately $160 NOK, while children enter for free. You can purchase tickets and check current tour schedules on the official museum website. With the Bergen Card, you get a 30 NOK discount. The Bergen Fish Market, or Fisktorget, has been a cornerstone of the city's trade since the 1200s. Located at the heart of Bergen's harbor, it offers a mix of fresh seafood, local produce, and unique crafts directly across from the historic UNESCO-listed Bryggen Wharf. The market consists of two main sections that operate differently throughout the year. The Mathallen, or indoor market, is a modern glass-walled hall that is open year-round. It houses permanent shops and several high-end seafood restaurants like Fischl and Fishme. The outdoor market is primarily open from May 1st through the summer. It features traditional stalls and a bustling street market atmosphere that is popular during peak tourist season. While famous for its raw seafood, the market is also a popular dining spot. Must-try dishes include classic Bergen fish soup, king crab legs, fish cakes, and open-faced shrimp sandwiches. Unique specialties include whale meat, often sold as samples, reindeer and moose sausages, and cloudberry jams. People can buy souvenirs such as salmon caviar in tubes, dried reindeer jerky, and traditional wooden candy crafts. The picturesque fish market in Bergen is one of Norway's most visited outdoor markets. The fish market sells seafood, fruits, and vegetables in the summer. The fish market in Bergen has a charming location in the heart of the city between the forts and Bergen's 7 mountains. The fish market in Bergen has existed since the 1200s and has since been one of the most important places for trade between fishermen, farmers, and the inhabitants of the city. In addition to the merchants on land, there were also historically sales from boats along the quay. Fishermen who lived outside the city used to row into the fish market to sell their catch of the day before rowing back home the same day. In 2012, the indoor fish market, Mathallen, opened. Here the merchants have permanent shops and restaurants indoors and are open all year round. The indoor fish market Key restaurants inside Holland include Fishkel Seafood Restaurant and Fish Me Fish Market. Fishkel Seafood Restaurant is often cited as a top choice for high-end experiences. It operates as both a massive fish counter and restaurant, professional, and focused on world-class quality, though it is one of the more expensive options in the city. Fish Me Fish Market, on the other hand, is a versatile spot that includes a seafood restaurant, sushi bar, and bakery. It's more casual than Fishkel, with a wide menu that caters to both quick lunches and full dinners. Join authorized local guides on a walking tour through Bergen. Enjoy a tour that combines history with everyday life as you discover the city's highlights and hidden gems. Explore Bergen's fortress and historic wharf area, visit alleys, and walk through areas only locals know about, and learn about Bergen's history as an important trading hub. Use my link to join this guided walking tour through GetYourGuide. Discover Bergen on a small group walking tour with a local guide. Visit the main sites including Bryggen and St. Mary's Church and enjoy personal insights, local tips, and daily life in Bergen. Hear stories about Bergen's Hanseatic past and gain local tips and insights into daily life. Use my link to book guided tours through GetYourGuide. Torgallmenningen is the wide bustling heart of Bergen and its primary social meeting place. Located just a 3-minute walk from the fish market, this grand pedestrian square serves as a central hub for shopping, events, and city life. The Blue Stone is a massive slab of Brazilian sawdust at the square's upper end. It is the city's most iconic meeting spot. Locals simply say, "Meet me at the Blue Stone." The square was designed in a uniform, monumental style following the Great Fire of 1916. It is often called Norway's best designed town square. The Seafarers Monument is a large monument featuring the statues that honor Norwegian sailors through the ages, located at the end facing the harbor. The square is lined with major department stores and malls, including Galleria and Exhibition. The buildings feature permanent glass roof arcades, allowing you to window shop without getting wet, a major plus in Bergen. The atmosphere of Torgallmenningen is lively and vibrant during the day, becoming a more relaxed spot for people watching on the square's many benches in the evening. The area frequently hosts festivals, outdoor concerts, and seasonal markets. Vestplassen is a prominent public square located in the heart of Bergen, situated along the octagonal lake Lillelångarvattnet. It serves as the city's primary venue for large-scale outdoor events, festivals, and celebrations. Vestplassen is an open, formal square in Bergen city center, positioned between Lillelångarvattnet, Rasmus Meyers Alley, Christie's Gate, and Kajgarten. It is not officially named, but municipal documents from 1930 describe the area as the intended festival square at the lake's northern end. Its identity is tied to public life, ceremonies, and seasonal events, making it one of Bergen's most symbolically charged urban space. Vestplassen is located in the Centrum district. It is a major pedestrian thoroughfare connecting Byparken with main bus and light rail stations. The square offers panoramic views of the surrounding mountains, including Mount Erling and Mount Florian. The man-made octagonal lake features a large central fountain and is a popular spot for people watching and relaxing. Adjacent to the square is the ornate music pavilion, and the Bergen Cathedral is just a short walk away. Vestplassen is most famous for hosting the city's most significant public gatherings, including Constitution Day on May 17th, the Bergen Christmas Market, Lysfest, Festival of Lights, and sporting events. Lillelångarvattnet is a small octagonal lake in a very center of Bergen. Originally a natural inlet, but reshaped, reduced over centuries into today's formal urban basin with a fountain and surrounding park. Lille Langarsvan is a 5-acre lake located in the heart of Bergen. It has an octagonal shape created through land reclamation and straightening of its shores as the city expanded. Historically, it was connected to Stor Langsgarven by a short strait, but this was filled in 1926 and replaced by an underground culvert, which still allows tidal fluctuations, lake's water level. The lake was once a much larger, forming part of a fjord arm that bordered medieval Bergen. Over time, the city's reclaimed land shrank the lake and gave it its current geometric form by the mid-20th century. A major park redevelopment around the lake was completed in 1937, turning it into a landscaped civic space. The central fountain, which is now one of Bergen's most photographed features, was installed in 1965. Lille Langsgarsvan functions as a visual anchor for Bergen's city center. It sits beside major cultural institutions, including the Code Art Museums. Its paths, benches, and open lawns make it a popular walking and relaxation area. The lake hosts events, light shows, and seasonal activities, using its reflective surface and surrounding park as a natural stage. Sculptures and public art around the lake reinforce its role as a cultural landscape. Høyden is the historic and academic heart of Bergen. This central ridge is home to the main campus of the University of Bergen, known for its blend of grand 19th century Burgos villas, monumental university buildings, and vibrant student life. Things to see and do in this district include the University Museum, St. John's Church, and Nygårdsparken. The University Museum is a landmark building from 1865 inspired by the Royal Palace in Oslo. It is surrounded by a beautiful botanical garden. St. John's Church is the iconic red church with its high green spire sitting at the top of the monumental stairs dominating the skyline at the end of the main city center axis. Nygårdsparken is an English-style landscape park opened in 1885, offering a tranquil escape with ponds and walking paths at the edge of the campus. Because of its student population, Bryggen has a relaxed atmosphere with cozy cafes and local pubs. Among the popular favorites are Clique Cafe, March and Bean, and University Libraries canteens, which are open to the public and offer affordable spots to grab coffee or lunch among local students. Experience Bergen Central with a local guide. Since 2015, the oldest Scandinavian walking tour provider. Stroll historic streets, discover iconic sites, and dive deep into the city's rich heritage. They bring Bergen's history to life with fun stories and local legends. Join this guided tour through GetYourGuide. Take a stroll through Bergen's University District accompanied by VoiceMap, which gives you navigational guidance and background information on the sites you will be walking past. Bryggen is a must-visit UNESCO World Heritage Site in Bergen, offering a glimpse into medieval history through its iconic, colorful wooden commercial buildings, which have stood as a vibrant harbor district for over 900 years. Visitors come to explore its narrow, bustling alleyways, unique artisan shops, and to experience the historic atmosphere of the Hanseatic League's trading hub. Located right on the harbor in Bergen, close to the fish market and Bergen Fortress, it provides easy access to the rest of the city. You can walk through the narrow wooden passages where German Hanseatic merchants lived and operated for 400 years. The area is filled with charming boutiques, specialized artisan studios, workshops, and cozy restaurants that bring the historic buildings to life. The city center of Bergen is built around the main square of Tortallmenningen, Vestplassen, and Lille Lungsgarsven, which is where locals love to gather. In the next vlog, I will be visiting Mount Erliken and Mount Foyon.